I think Radhika
Hi.
now. Hi. Uh,
Finally.
Firstly, thank you so much, Radhika, for joining us today for this important topic and
Thank
quickly
you so much
understand.
for having me.
So, as from your expertise, quickly understanding you, Radhika, like what is the role of accessories when we are talking about elevating our outfits or elevating our style, especially for different occasions?
So when you talk about, okay, let's do it metaphorically, okay? First and foremost, if you talk about anything about yourself in general, or when you're going to any place, let's talk about a fine dining restaurant. When you're sitting
Hmm.
and then two dishes come in front of you. One is, is very elevated, has great colors in it, and is placed very well. The other one may be really tasty or maybe very appetizing, but may not look that appetizing. So humans by nature are very visual. That's where our perspective comes from, how we are perceived when somebody lays their eyes on us. So that's where, the game or the role of accessories comes and is extremely imperative because it can elevate your look and take it from drab to fab. So that's where the importance of accessories comes in. And when you talk about accessories in general, when it comes to different occasions, right? If you're talking about different occasions, the best way is to remember the 5 W's: who, when, what, where, and why. Who are you going to meet? Okay. Where are you going to meet? What time of the day? Okay. What is the reason that you're going to meet? And the place where it is. Is it a formal gathering? Is it an informal occasion? So depending on all that is when you decide whether to accessorize and how much accessorizing is enough or not. And the same goes for clothes. When you come to image and talk about image, the same is, so remembering the 5 W's is extremely important, especially if you're not somebody who's an image consultant. Like for us, it comes very easy because that's everyday job, right? But somebody who's a layman, that's the best way to understand and elevate your A game is by understanding where you're going. That is the most important part of all the W's as well. Yes. So accordingly, because see, sometimes it may be an evening get together, but it can be a soiree, like an evening party scene, or it may be, which is also formal, it may be another get together, which is a corporate get together, yet in the evening. That is also formal. Both are formal. But what changes or what is the differentiating factor is somewhere where you can reveal a little, maybe your décolletage is revealed, you're wearing a nice, sexy gown or a dress. You cannot do the same when it comes to a professional setup. So that's why I said that the where you're going to meet and who you're going to meet is extremely important. Keeping that in mind, you choose your outfit and choose accessories that accentuate the best of you and also create a perception how you want to be perceived. As in when somebody sees you, there should be nothing distracting about you. It should all make sense. So basically, that's what it is all about.
So when we're talking about, like you've very beautifully mentioned and very as a metaphor also, and then you've also beautifully mentioned that whether because the occasion, the kind of occasion, what is the occasion is also very important. So when we're talking about professional meetings, so what are the right accessories? Because when we're going ahead for professional corporate meetings, the agenda is more on the focus, the kind of work that we're going to come up rather than the way we are looking. So how we have to balance both
Yeah.
when we're going for a professional
That's
meetings.
a very good question asked. Actually, when it comes to professional setup, you make sure you're not distracting. Okay. The attention stays closer to the face, and the attention is more on your professionalism or the way you carry yourself rather than having too much of makeup on, which can be distracting when you're going for work because it is a professional setup. When it comes to accessorizing, minimalistic is the key. Okay. So you need to make sure that you accessorize very less. Make sure it's minimal and there is only one focal point. Like what I'm wearing is one focal point. If I have something big in my ears, if I'm wearing here all over, then it's very distracting for the eyes and it breaks the eye at certain places. So rather than people interacting with you professionally, they're distracted by what you want. So that should not be the case when it comes to professional setup. So maybe like a timeless watch, okay, a simple dial, not a big chunky dial. That one you can keep in mind. The second again would be wearing just simple studs, not jewelry that is like very distracting. So things like these are very important when it comes to accessories. When it comes to talking about a handbag, what kind of a bag? It should be structured, professional looking bag, which is not it's not very loud. It should be subdued. Even the colors need to be muted and subdued because it's a professional setup. So yes, that is how you choose your accessories as well.
I think someone in the comments has also mentioned fresh water pearls.
Yes.
That
Yes, that is also a great choice. In fact, pearls in general, in different colors you can wear. Not very colorful. By colors, I mean according to your personal colors as well, which we will talk about in length a little later.
Sure, sure. I think there is one more query. Some as you mentioned about watches, someone has mentioned what about smart watches?
So smart watches, see, you can wear because see, firstly, in a professional setup, mostly you're supposed to be all covered till here, right? By chunky watches, I mean those big dial watches. You should try and avoid. The classic ones are the best. A simple rimmed, maybe like a silver rimmed or a gold rimmed watch looks the best actually if you talk about it.
True, true. because people because as a lot of now a lot of virtual as well as offline meets are happening, and especially the target which like we working on is a women entrepreneur. So
Right.
sometimes they also get confused that what they have to wear. So, sometimes that balance, as you have mentioned, long jewelry they wear, or sometimes the watches, the dials, they are not looking out that it's a chunky dial. So that needs to be a
Absolutely.
little balanced out. So when coming back to my question, like if we are going for a virtual meet, because now a lot of Zoom meets are also happening. So is there a difference between while you're going on the camera and then we are going offline when we talk about accessories?
Yes, when you talk about accessorizing, so basically in a virtual meeting, what is revealed of you is not your entire body, it's just a torso. The upper torso is revealed. That is from the head max till the underbust. That can be revealed, nothing more than that. So make sure you're professionally dressed. Do not take it ease. Like, do not be very easy about it that it's okay, it's just a virtual meeting. No, your professional, nism needs to be there also, and you need to be professional. So make sure that anything that you wear should also bring the focus to your face, because this your headshot is very important. Like today I'm sitting here, I've created a focal point here purposely so that the attention stays on my face, near my face, because
True.
my expressions will be very valid when it comes to a virtual meeting as
Hmm.
compared to any other meeting. So things like that. And when it comes to professionalism in a virtual meeting, you have to make sure even a lipstick is very subdued professionally, if you talk about. Otherwise it works. Otherwise you can wear a nice loud lipper, that's fine. But when it comes to professionalism, it's a big no-no. And when it comes to earrings, also minimalistic, it should not be very distracting. Then you cannot have two accessories working together, specifically when it's a virtual meeting, that is like a scarf and big earrings. You have to just choose one point of focus. That's why my earrings are minimalistic and my scarf is the point of focus, basically, the styling of the scarf. So that you need to keep in mind. And of course, watch, if your hand movements are there, then the watch. Otherwise, I think only this much is mostly visible. So
True.
your headshot needs to be clean. Your hair should either fall straight, and if they do not fall straight, then make sure they're tied back in a pony so that the
True.
concentration is more on your face, because this is very important when it comes to a virtual meeting, your expressions. And overall, whatever accessory you wear, it has to be something that you can carry with a lot of confidence and suave. So
Hmm.
that you need to make sure. Otherwise, if you're just wearing it because it's in vogue, it will be a deal breaker, because eventually you will not be very comfortable with it. So to
Yes.
elevate your A game, don't negate the comfort factor. Comfort also is a very, very important aspect of dressing right or dressing appropriately.
True. True. So I think we have another question who's asking any tips for the professors who are taking online sessions. I think Sonam has
For the
asked.
professionals, see very neat hair, okay? Make sure you're clean shaven, beard and all, nothing. That is very important. A crisp shirt, which, and also before you go for a virtual meeting, make sure you preview yourself 5 to 10 minutes before the meeting, because sometimes even, sorry, I'll come back to you, sir, but even when it comes to women, if you're talking about just women,
Women,
uh,
women has already asked. This is a
no,
Sonam.
no, no.
Sonam.
I'm talking about the
Okay.
accessories. When you talk about preview, because
Hmm.
that part I missed, so I'm just covering that. That you make sure that it's not reflecting light. That is very important
Hmm.
when it comes to choosing women's accessories. Okay,
Hmm.
so I forgot that point, so I'm just clarifying. Now coming back to men's, you can only be very neatly dressed. Your hair needs to be very well groomed. Is what screams professionalism when it comes to a male figure. Online virtual meeting, if you talk about. If they don't
This
fall
should.
straight. If they're falling straight like mine, then it's fine. They're not distracting. But too much of curls when it comes to
Hmm.
professionalism is a big
True.
no-no, according to me. And a lot of people do that. They're full of
True.
curls. You're not going to a party. It's not an evening. It's not a soiree that you're going to. It's a
True.
professional get-together. Either hair totally like how your hair is, totally
Hmm.
neatly tied back, so that the
True.
attention stays on the face and the expressions are more visible, rather than having distracted curls. Basically, that's what I'm coming to.
The rules of accessorizing, and sometimes they mix and match everything. And you have just mentioned there are certain colors. So what are the basic of accessories and what are the colors that you were talking about that one should look
So when
corporates?
it comes to professionalism, if you talk about, right, rule of accessory, the most important rule of accessorizing correct when it comes to either professional setup or otherwise is that you should remember the scale or the proportion. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, what you understand by scale in simple words is small, medium, large. Okay. Like we have different face shapes. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, if you're talking about just the face in a virtual meeting, now you have an oval face shape, you have a square, you have oblong, you have triangle, inverted triangle. So there are so many face shapes. The accessories need to be chosen firstly according to your face shape, while at the same time maintaining the proportion. Proportion means how big is your face. Okay. So each of them have proportions as well. Like a face also, even in an inverted triangle or an oval, the proportion can be big or small. Keeping that in mind, like my face, I'll explain on mine because it's easier for people to
Hmm.
understand. I have a rectangular face. Okay. Now on a rectangular face, if I add too much of chunky jewelry here, it'll add more weight on my face. So that's what I mean. I will, because I have an angular face, so it's very important for me to have accessories which are more rounded. Okay. That will look better on me because the angles are already there. I do not need to highlight the angles further. So that is the differentiating factor when it comes to going to an image consultant and understanding and choosing the right accessories, because it's a little in depth. So it's very difficult to explain it completely in length. However, make sure that only the accessories are not visible. That is the best way to put it. When it comes to your virtual meetings, or when it comes to offline meetings as well, nothing distracting. Everything, like if you go to any space, you talk about an interior designer, what do? They place things in accordance to the size. So that size is also very important. In a smaller area, you cannot have very big paintings. You understand? So they should not be in opposition, is what I'm trying to explain, if everybody's understood.
True. Because I think that's the key to understand what, as you mentioned, the face type. So that's the key to understand that it's not other something is looking good on other person, will automatically look good on me as well. So that is also the mindset that needs to be changed.
And also not be a fashion addict. That's very important. People just take fashion and they're just using fashion. I think everybody wants to wear the same. Why? If something is not for appropriate for your body type, or in general, if it doesn't suit you, wear something that looks nice on you, which further elevates the game. Basically, the word elevate you need to keep in mind when it comes to accessorizing appropriately.
True. So, Radhika, before ending, because we have got a lot of insights from you, especially the way you started with the metaphor. So, but before we end the session, what are some of the tips that you want to share, the trends which are currently both for styling and for accessories, if we're talking about the professional meetings or in general? What are some of the trends which are going on? But one should look into that as well for the year 2024.
Yes. So for awareness, definitely the ongoing trends are ear cuffs. They're really big this season. Just tucking your hair back and wearing a nice, beautiful cuff in your ear is really in vogue. Then besides that, if you talk about stacking jewelry, like stacking bangles are really in vogue this season. Pearls, I would say, when it comes to professionalism, is a timeless piece. So maybe you can wear like 2 strings of pearls if you do not have big pearls, because nowadays this season is all this year is all about wearing thick, big, chunky pearls, like a string of thick pearls. But if you do not have it, it's okay. Do not break your bank. Do not buy or splurge. Instead of that, combine another pair of get another string of pearls and wear the 2 together. So stacking is really in this season. When it comes to bags, a lot of canvas bags are really in, and you get to see on the runway a lot of striped bags, which is very interesting, and different bags, like you talk about a boho bag, or you talk about a structured bag. So all sorts of bags in different colors and shapes and sizes are in this season, which is very interesting, because you have a plethora to choose out of. It's not very limited. So each to his own. But again, when it comes to even purchasing bags, remember the scale and proportion. Don't forget that. A very petite woman carrying a very big bag, again, is in extremes. And then you will look even more petite, even if you want to look taller or a bigger frame. So you understand, it will highlight that aspect of yours which you do not want to be highlighted. So make sure it's within your frame. It is appropriate, whether it's a small, medium, large. I've explained it the best way. That is the best way to understand a scale and proportion. Because if you talk about it, there is a term called semiotics, which we use in image, which is giving out clues and signs with what you don. So creating a perfect ensemble, okay, with your accessories and everything in place, curating that look can only happen if you choose them right, and also they all cohesively or coherently come together to bring out the same look. Like you cannot wear trendy pants with a crisp white shirt, because one is formal, the other is informal. So you need to make sure all the things that you wear give out the same message. That is called the art of semiotics, which is very important, because what you're seen as is what you're perceived, because it's a fast-paced world. Nobody has the time to sit and interact and then decide, oh, Radhika is like this. No, they will see me and perceive me like that, and that's how they will decide who I am or what are my capabilities. So that's why perception nowadays is reality. So it's extremely important. And that's what they carry forward, because what happens is, in a fraction of 3 to 30 seconds, an image of yours is stored, just like how a camera clicks and stores an image. Similarly, your image is stored, and next time when somebody talks about you, it will be withdrawn from the same old file that is stored in the memory. It will not be, oh, maybe Radhika's changed or she's a different person and now she knows better. No, they will retrieve that same file of yours to remember who Radhika is. So that 3 to 30 seconds of perception and to create a positive impact is extremely important, as well as elevating your game with accessories. All combined together play a very, very important role in bringing your look together overall.
True. So thank you so much, Radhika, for today. I'm sure people who will be listening afterwards also will be getting great insights from you.